When everything around you is changing, your leadership culture becomes the foundation that keeps everyone grounded. But here's the real challenge. How do you build and strengthen your leadership culture when you're actually leading through change? Today, we're going to talk about how you can cultivate a strong leadership culture during times of major transition. Let's dive in. Leading through change is not easy. It demands clarity, resilience, and above all, a strong leadership culture. That culture acts as your team's guiding light when the world around them is spinning. Now, here's something every leader needs to remember. Leadership is not a privilege reserved for the C-suite. Leadership is the lifeblood of every successful company, and this becomes increasingly more important when your team is undergoing major changes. As a senior leader, your job is to get everyone on board with the direction of the business at every level, from individual contributor all the way up to C-suite executives. The goal is to make sure all of them operate with a leadership mindset. Just imagine for a second, like that in itself, how that will stabilize your team. And if you're in the C-suite, pay close attention because building a leadership culture across the business doesn't happen by accident. It takes deliberate, consistent action, and that action starts with you. As a leader, you set the tone for how leadership is developed and valued at every level. If you don't prioritize leadership development, you can't realistically expect your team to exceed expectations when the stakes are high. In times of change, you must set the tone for growth, to inspire your team to navigate challenges and solve problems with confidence and determination. This is the perfect moment to ask yourself some tough but necessary questions. Are we building leaders at every level? Is our vision clearly communicated throughout the organization? Do we trust our leaders to represent the company when we're not present? How would our cultural shift if our best or one of our best leaders left? Who are our emerging leaders and who is mentoring them? If any of these questions raise concerns, we should talk. Schedule a call. Link is in the description. But here's a truth bomb. You need your leaders to think like leaders, especially during times of uncertainty. The reason many don't is that they're so consumed by the immediate problems that a change actually brings. So I want you to remember this. The problem is not the problem, right? The problem is how we think about the problem. See, most leaders get buried in the chaos of change, trying to fix everything themselves. But in the moments of transition, a leader's job is not to solve every problem. It's to guide your team toward solutions. Your role as a leader is to foster a leadership culture that empowers your team to take ownership of the challenges, not wait for you to micromanage. See, change creates new problems, and how you and your team approach these problems will define your leadership culture. It's that simple. Leaders must see things as they are, not worse than they are. The goal isn't to assign blame or get stuck in frustration, but to redirect everyone's energy towards moving the business forward. So I believe passionately that in times of change, leadership value becomes non-negotiable. As leaders, it's your responsibility to guide your team and help maintain focus on long-term goals. Here's another truth bomb. If you're not investing in your leaders, guess what? Someone else will. This is even more crucial during times of organizational change, because the truth is this: your best leaders will leave if they feel neglected, especially when the business is going through major shifts. And losing great leaders in the middle of a transition, that's a setback you can't afford. So think about it. Change is already destabilizing. Now imagine trying to rebuild your leadership pipeline while dealing with a massive shift in the business. It's expensive, time-consuming, and above all else, it's disruptive. Instead, invest in the leaders you already have. Make sure they feel valued and equipped to handle the changes. Your leaders need to grow for your business to grow. This is never more important than in times of change. When you build a leadership culture that thrives during transitions, you set your business up for success. Your senior executives can focus now on long-term strategy because you know why? Because they're backed by leaders at every level who are equipped to handle the day-to-day challenges that come up with any change. A leadership culture built during change, in my opinion, is a culture that can handle anything. I've seen it firsthand. See, years ago, I worked with a business going through massive organizational overhaul. The company was facing tough market conditions and everything was on the line. But the key difference? They had invested heavily in leadership development before the storm hit. Mid-level leaders and even frontline leaders were not only capable of stepping up during the change, they actually thrived in it. So let me leave you with this. If you want to build a leadership culture that thrives during change, it starts with embracing the mindset at every level. The leaders who adapt, inspire, and drive real impact during uncertain times are the ones who recognize that leadership is a shared responsibility, not a solo endeavor. Great leadership isn't about controlling every outcome. It's about empowering others to lead us alongside you. Okay, if you found the tips I shared today valuable, I invite you to join our leadership community. Not only will I personally guide you, but you'll be surrounded by other like-minded leaders just like yourself who share the same leadership challenges that you do. Follow the link in the description if you're interested. If you want to explore how we can help elevate your leadership team and develop growth champions throughout your business who can help you get out of the weeds and scale, I also included a link in the description if you want to schedule an exploratory call, and together we can brainstorm what that may look like for you and your team. If you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below related to your business, and of course subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.